Welcome to the Moon and Gemini podcast. I am your witch in residence, April Edwards. This is our astrology of the week. This week carries the feeling of a threshold. We are moving from the final waters of Pisces into the first fire of Aries. The zodiac itself is turning over. The astrological year begins again. But the shift does not happen all at once. The week begins with reflection, revisiting, and karmic conversations. Then the sky pivots. Mercury changes direction. The sun enters Aries. Fire begins again. What starts the week as introspection becomes movement by the end. March 17th, Mercury retrograde conjunct the North Node in Pisces. When Mercury is retrograde, the mind turns inward. We review conversations, revisit old ideas, and encounter messages from the past. The North Node represents direction, the evolutionary path unfolding ahead of us. When Mercury touches the North Node, communication becomes meaningful in a very particular way. A conversation may return that helps you understand where you are actually headed. An old idea may suddenly feel relevant again. Or you may realize that something you once dismissed holds more truth than you thought. Because this occurs in Pisces, the information may arrive through intuition, dreams, symbolism, or the emotional realization rather than straightforward logic. Pisces communicates through feeling first. This is not a day for forcing answers. It is a day for noticing what keeps appearing. When the same message arrives from multiple directions, it's usually worth paying attention to. March 18th, Venus in Aries square Jupiter in Cancer. Squares create tension, and in this case, the tension lies between independence and emotional protection. Venus in Aries moves towards what it desires quickly and directly. It values freedom, passion, and authenticity. Jupiter in Cancer is concerned with safety, belonging, and emotional nourishment. When these two meet in a square, the question becomes, what do you want and what actually sustains you? Sometimes we chase excitement when what we truly need is stability. Other times we cling to comfort when something inside of us wants to grow. This transit may highlight places where desire and emotional security feel temporarily out of alignment. The work here is not choosing one over the other. It is understanding how both needs can coexist. Also on the 18th, the Sun in Pisces forms a sextile to Uranus. This brings a brief but welcome spark of clarity. Uranus represents sudden insight, innovation, and awakening. When it forms a supportive sextile with the Sun, we often experience small flashes of realization, moments where something suddenly makes sense. Because the Sun is still in Pisces, these realizations may arrive quietly. A creative idea, a surprising solution to a problem, the realization about your own patterns. Sextiles are opportunities. They reward curiosity. If something unexpected captures your attention today, follow it. There may be wisdom there. March 20th, the Sun enters Aries. March 20th marks one of the most important shifts of the year. The Sun leaves Pisces and enters Aries. This is the astrological new year. Aries is cardinal fire, the spark that begins the zodiac cycle again. If Pisces represents dissolution and completion, Aries represents emergence. The seed breaks open. Action becomes possible again. After weeks of water-heavy transits, this shift can feel energizing. Motivation returns, initiative reawakens, but Aries energy is raw at first. It is not about perfect strategy. It is about movement. The beginning does not require certainty. It requires courage. Mercury stations direct in Pisces. Whenever a planet stations, its symbolism becomes amplified. For the past weeks, Mercury retrograde in Pisces has been asking us to slow down mentally, to revisit feelings, to reconsider meaning rather than rushing towards conclusions. Now Mercury begins moving forward again. Clarity gradually returns. Conversations that stalled may begin moving again. Plans that felt confusing start to make more sense. But Mercury is still in Pisces. Logic is not the dominant language yet. Intuition still leads. The difference is now insight can begin translating into action. March 21st. Mars in Pisces trine Jupiter in Cancer. This is one of the most supported aspects of the week. Mars represents action. Jupiter represents growth. In water signs, both are working through emotion, intuition, and instinct. A trine between them suggests that effort and opportunity may align naturally. Actions taken from genuine emotional truth are more likely to succeed under this influence. This can be a beautiful day for creative work, compassionate action, helping someone who needs support, or taking a step that feels emotionally aligned. Water trines remind us that progress does not always require force. Sometimes it requires trust. March 22nd, Sun conjunct Neptune in Aries. The week ends with a powerful and unusual alignment. Neptune represents dreams, spirituality, imagination, and delusion. The Sun represents consciousness and identity. When they meet, the boundary between vision and reality can blur. But in Aries, this combination has a unique quality. Aries brings initiative to Neptune's dreamlike energy. Vision wants expression. Imagination wants form. For some people, this transit can inspire creative or spiritual insight. For others, it may highlight the danger of acting on fantasy without grounding. The key is discernment. Neptune shows possibilities. Aries wants to move immediately. The wisdom lies in allowing the inspiration to emerge without rushing blindly toward it. This week tells the story of a transition between worlds. It begins in Pisces with reflection, intuition, and unfinished conversations. Mercury retrograde in the North Node bring karmic messages to the surface. By midweek, the sky shifts. The Sun enters Aries, and the astrological year begins again. Mercury turns direct. Momentum returns. And by the end of the week, vision meets action as Neptune and the Sun align in Aries. Reflection becomes movement. Dream becomes possibility. The invitation of the week is simple. Listen carefully at the beginning, move courageously by the end. We are standing at the edge of a new astrological cycle. The waters of Pisces have been dissolving what no longer belongs. Now the fire of Aries asks us to begin again. Not perfectly, but honestly. The first step is rarely elegant, but it is always powerful. This work grows through word of mouth, and if it's been meaningful to you, you can like, share, or subscribe. That's how it reaches the ones who need it.